applying game theory to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause. So you may think that, there's a lot of other stuff involved, politics and all this stuff. And yes, there is, but if you want to approach it purely from a scientific or a logical perspective, does the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause make any sense? Well, let me start off with saying the political aspect, who knows, right? I think basically it's a moot point. A lot of people that are anti-vaxxers, pausing is not going to help them, not going to convince them. People who are on the fence, pausing is not going to help them, just gives them more stuff to worry about. Oh, this could happen, this literally 1 in a million chance. But the way I view it is from playing video games, playing board games, playing any type of game. Think about chess. Have you seen them calculating? If I do this, that guy does this, and I do this. Oh, and I win. Okay, if I do this, he does this, and I win. Oh, well, obviously I should do this then. In any scenario, whatever the opponent does, I win. Which is how I view thinking about this scenario. So to bring it more down to earth to people who want something practical or medical even, so to speak, in the medical field we use a similar saying, and it's like, does this change management? Does this change the outcome? Does ordering all these tests matter? If it doesn't change the outcome, then why order these tests? I remember in residency, one attending physician was asking us about all these tests that the prior doctor had ordered. It's like, what was the point? Well, to diagnose lupus. Well, if all these test results come back positive, can you diagnose lupus? And the answer was no. Why did you order these tests in the first place? They're not going to change management. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste money. Don't waste effort. Don't waste people's time doing something that doesn't change anything. And that's the thing. In a few days of a pause, in a week even, is there anything you could change about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? And the answer is no. Dr. Fauci says something that I find ridiculous. First of all, he says something that, as it's proven fact, is not. There's this big controversy whether this cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, you give blood thinners or not. He says you don't. And he wants to re-educate people. First of all, that's not proven. That's not standard care anyways. Most people would actually give blood thinners. There's a big debate over that. But the second thing is, this is something that's really rare. You think you're going to teach doctors to treat something that's really rare? Yeah, good luck. Most doctors don't even know how to treat something that's relatively common from my experience. There's no way to conduct a massive education campaign in a few days, or even a few weeks, or even a month. So the way I look at it is, let's think about different possibilities. So let's say at the end of a week, they decide to go ahead with the vaccine. So you wasted a whole week. We could have spent vaccinating people. Could have spent reducing the risk of people getting coronavirus and dying. Other side, if you didn't do this and you just kept on going, right? And then later you find out, hey, I need to stop. Well, what would have happened? What damage you would have done? Cause, 3 more people to get this, and you decide the risk is not worth it? Not much of a damage, I would say. The way I look at the future is the way I tell my patients. So I usually have a talk with them about, especially older people, because you don't have that much life left if you're in the hospital, right? I'm just wasting precious days when you only have not that many, especially when you're 90 plus, right? So what do I tell them? Well, I know you want to go home. This is what I'll propose to you. Basically, you may go home and do fine. I give it a 50-50 chance. You may go home and not do fine and you come back to the hospital. Would you rather go home with this chance of having a few more extra days at home? See, basically, if you go home and do fine, you get at a hospital early. Win-win, right? If you go home and don't do fine, well, yeah, that's not a great thing, but I don't think you're going to die. You could just come back to us. Go back to the emergency room. We'll admit you again. We'll treat you here. So yeah, some extra hassle, but is that worth that risk of a few extra days at home? And uniformly, they all say, yes, give me home, right? Just do a simple calculation, a risk-benefit analysis, gameplay strategy, and see what we should do. I mean, after all, it's the only logical way we have thinking about this, other than politics, right? In which there simply is no right answer.